America's allies are quietly ganging up, not with weapons, but with trade deals. They're redrawing the global trade map. And this time, they're doing it without the United States at the center.
We're always subject to negotiate something that's fair, but we've talked to most of the countries, and pretty much they've had their way for many, many decades, as you know. And it was time that we just wanted fairness. This is not really equitable from our standpoint, because it's just a small token by comparison to the damage that's been done over the years.
Let's break it down. Over the weekend, the European Union learned it would face 30% US tariffs starting August 1st.
The United States have sent us a letter with measures that would come into effect unless there is a negotiated solution. So we will therefore also extend the suspension of our countermeasures till early August.
President Trump made the announcement public himself, saying the EU would face across-the-board tariffs. Before this, EU officials had been negotiating with Washington for months. They were even willing to accept a base 10% tariff, hoping to protect key sectors. But that entire deal is now off the table. EU leaders are frustrated, and they're not alone. Trump also slapped Mexico with 30% tariffs. Canada got 35%. Thailand, Bangladesh, and Brazil, 35 to 50%. Dozens of US trading partners are now in the crosshairs. And while Trump says he may negotiate down the tariffs before August, many feel the damage is already done. Trump, he says, is using uncertainty as a tool to force concessions. EU President Ursula von der Leyen says Europe won't retaliate right away. But counter-tariffs worth $25 billion are already on standby and could be activated in early August. But that's just step one. Step two? Building a new trade system that doesn't revolve around the US. At a press conference in Brussels with Indonesia's President Prabowo, von der Leyen sent a message. She said, "Partners like us must come closer together." She warned of those turning inward and promised, "You can count on Europe."
In times of global challenges like these, partners must strengthen their ties. Europe and Indonesia share a deep commitment to peace, to stability, and a rules-based international order. So today we discussed raising our relationship to a level of a strategic partnership. This would mean a long-term commitment based on trust, reciprocity, and mutual benefit. And it would complement the important work we are doing together as part of the EU-ASEAN relations.
I think this also shows the importance that we attach to the relationship between Indonesia and the European Union. I would like to say that today we have achieved a breakthrough. After 10 years of negotiations, we have concluded the agreement to have a comprehensive economic partnership agreement, which basically is a free trade agreement. We have achieved many agreements, basically that we will accommodate each other's economic interests, and we find them basically mutually symbiotic. We still look towards Europe. Maybe not many of us would like to admit it openly, but I am here, I admit openly, we would like to see a stronger Europe, and we want to work with Europe.
The split is becoming clearer now. One side, the US, canceling deals and threatening new tariffs. The other side, EU, Asia, South America, are trying to deepen ties and reduce reliance on Washington. The EU is now fast-tracking trade talks. Deals with Canada, India, South Africa, even the UK, which left the EU 5 years ago, are back on track. New partnerships are forming from Asia to Latin America. And interestingly, there's talk of creating a new trade group with countries like Japan, Vietnam, and Australia that excludes both China and the US. Why? Because global economies want stability. And both China's overproduction and America's tariff threats are seen as disruptive. So, could America's allies gang up in response? Analysts say yes. Joint retaliation could give them more leverage. Economist Jacob Funk Kierkegaard says, I would start to look for coordination. That's the rational thing.
Well, it shows that Donald Trump thinks he can maybe get a deal by threatening to escalate. But I have to think, I think it will backfire. I think what he has signaled to the EU is that all the efforts that the European Commission has made to try to accommodate, try to negotiate a deal, meant nothing for Trump. He gave the EU, threatened the EU 30%. He threatened Japan, South Korea with 25. Mexico also got 30% threat today. So it basically means that all our efforts to try to find a deal seemingly has meant nothing for Trump.
For now, Trump's tariff war has pushed old allies to get closer to each other and step away from Washington. How far that shift goes, we'll be watching. For more news and updates, watch Mint News.
In a world where business never stops, Mint keeps you ahead, any screen, anytime. From studios to the ground, Mint breaks down business, leadership and lifestyle, boldly, visually and smartly. From boardrooms to markets, from personal wealth to industry trends, we bring you the insights that matter.
Mint is doing brilliantly well. It's a well-read page, I would think.
What fuels India's biggest CEOs? Ride along and find out.
I have to work that much harder. I have to put that much more in.
Over the years.
Yes.
Earlier I could say, no, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
But now I can.
Want to invest like the pros? Learn from India's top market experts.
Things like that worry me about markets.
I don't want to buy a house to invest.
Your money, your future. We make finance simple. Step inside breathtaking homes and the creative minds behind them.
So we are at the house in Camellias. I think Camellias is the most expensive property in the NCR and probably the most expensive in the country.
India's real estate scene decoded. No jargon, no fluff.
Home buyers will have more bargaining power.
It's a great time to buy a house as well.
Some chase success, others create it. Meet the ones who made the impossible possible.
I don't want to be a doctor, I don't want to be an engineer, I don't want to be an accountant. And that's the most fragile thing. Poof, it will go away.
वो ताली ऐसी थी ना, इतनी addictive थी, मैंने कहा बॉस अब तो यही होगा.
We don't just talk business, we show it, and the world's watching.